Good morning, it is me, Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And it's Empress week, and we are going to take a look today at the Divine Feminine Empress energy. I'm using a spread I found by the Black Cat Tarot that's called just the Empress spread for our wild card today. And of course, since this is Empress week and we're doing things a little differently, good morning, Michelle. We are definitely going to be probably just doing wild cards until we change back over to the balanced readings next week. So technically this will have a lot of wild cards, but the spread I'm using today is really cool. It's got 6 positions, which is usually what I analyze whenever I do these readings. And then I'm going to do top and bottom of deck for general energy and underlying energy. We're going to look at creativity, femininity, beauty, love, nature, and peace. And I've assigned an oracle to each position. So we'll be looking at tarot in headspace and heart space, and then an oracle for each one of those positions. And then I did pull the bottom of the deck oracles for further guidance in closing. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's get started. We're going to look at the headspace first. Top of the deck, overall headspace for Divine Feminine energy today. The High Priestess and Gruhl. This has been a card that has really been up in our grill. Not only was it in the reading twice or thrice yesterday, it was also, it just popped out of the deck for me when I did a couple of card pulls later in the day. So it's really haunting Divine Feminine right now. It is the essence of the Divine Feminine, High Priestess energy, as it is. It is the balanced state that we are seeking in this collective, to have the masculine and feminine energy balanced inside of self. To be fully in tune with our heart space, and to be intuitive, and it's about trusting ourselves as well. So for this to be on Divine Feminine's mind overall, it's a pretty good sign. I'm gonna clock us. There's twin flame stuff today. Ha! And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I tried to do a permanent delete of pictures last night. Didn't work. They were on my phone this morning. Never had that happen before. It happens when you hit recover all by accident on your phone. Is it an accident? I don't think so. I thought it was permanently deleted yesterday anyway. Not permanently deleted. Twin flame journey is not permanently deleted from our head. Sorry about it. That's just the way it is. That's why we're here, though, focusing on the feminine. What I'm hoping for is that even if that twin flame journey is on your mind today, that you are fully aware of the meaning of the journey. That it is not about the specific person that you think is your twin flame, but that it is about the journey itself, into the center, into your heart center, tuning in. And if you can hold that person that you think is your twin flame, which I gotta tell you, if you can release that label, you should do this. If you can release that idea that that is the only specific person you can be with, you can benefit from this journey. But if you're stuck on that one person, you're just going to have to cycle a lot through these patterns in order to do this healing process. That's all there is. There's no shame in this. But this is definitely on her mind. She's still thinking about it. The niggling thing in the back of her mind is the Six of Swords, because while she is thinking about the twin flame journey, she is also thinking about wanting to learn her lessons from it. Really, really desiring to do this. By the way, I'm using the Small Spells Tarot right now by Rachel Howe, I should mention. And Divine Feminine's wanting to transition. She really is desiring to transition, to move on from these behaviors and from these obstacles that have just kept her stuck. She doesn't know where she's going, and she doesn't know if she's doing this exactly right, which is why we're seeing her overall headspace be like, you know what, I don't know, but I'm just going to trust. I'm just going to trust in the feeling I have about trying to move on and transitioning and learning my lessons, and I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't know. Because the thing is, when she tunes into the heart space with the High Priestess energy, what do we have in the heart space? The Two of Cups. Physical union. And really desiring human connection. And I really relate to this because last night I was in my dream team session with Chelsea Rose, who is an amazing musician. She also takes incredible photographs, and she's been my photographer for the last few years for my band. And she has, through Patreon, you can join her once a month, and she does this cool like dream team thing where you focus on your dreams, and it's kind of like accountability. You talk about what your goals are, and you do a dream map and plan out your goals. It's really helpful. And so I was in the meeting last night with her, and you start with a meditation so you can kind of just center yourself and get a sense of your dream or your vision. And I went to envision what I wanted, and I was expecting, because this has been mostly these sessions I've been doing with her have been about my record and, you know, the things I'm creating and everything and abundance, etc. And so I closed my eyes to go and start picturing, and she's like, imagine yourself, see yourself, like the morning you wake up, what are you doing? What things do you smell? What, you know, because you're like trying to feel what the self that has the thing it wants is like, and then kind of getting a sense of that, so you know what the essence of your dreams is trying to tell you what you need or whatever. So I was fully picturing, I have my recording session next Tuesday, and I was fully picturing like thinking of that and like whatever, winning a Grammy. No. I close my eyes, I center myself, and I wake up in the morning and I roll over, and there's my twin flame. I was so pissed because you can't control those visions. Your heart wants what it wants. And I came out of it, I was annoyed, but then I extrapolated what I needed to from that, which is I need human connection. My twin flame represents that for me. And while that person is not available to me right now, the desire and need for connection is. And understanding that pull that you have for that one person, and you're like, but I don't understand, like this person represents this and I've never been able to get over this person. I believe it is because you are associating with that person, whether it's your twin or not. Because to be honest with you, I think there are very few actual twin flame relationships. I think that is like a special thing. So the idea that this person is actually this exact thing, it's very slim. It's most likely this person is a soulmate. But for you, they have become your twin flame because they represent this connection that you want to have with the masculine energy or the opposing energy from you, if you know, depending on where you're at. And the sense that the completion of self comes from the integration of two parts. The niggling thing in the back of the mind, I can't fucking make it up, not in the back of the mind, but in the heart space. It's the Two of Wands, which we look at as a twin flame card, which we saw in our first reading, in our obstacles removed. This card came out in reverse because it was what we needed to do to be able to move on. We need to release the twin flame journey. Meanwhile, we wake up this morning, and in the heart space, we're on that journey again. It's undeniable because the High Priestess is here too. But this is the light I see in these niggling thoughts and feelings. This is about learning your lessons on this journey. And this is a card about asking and waiting for something, knowing you're going to receive it. So really, we have a divine feminine who is trusting that if she continues to learn her lessons, she's going to be able to receive this human connection. Which is pretty beautiful, honestly. So we'll allow it. All right, this spread. The first position is creativity. How can I express myself creatively? So we're going to look at head, heart space, and then we've got an oracle that's going to close out for us. So in the head space, how can I express myself creatively? I love this. The Ace of Cups. We can express ourselves creatively by, first of all, taking care of ourselves, filling up our own cups, right? While this may be our heart's desire, we need to be filling this cup on our own before we can be passing it off to anybody else. So creatively, and we could look at creative energy also as sexual energy too if you want to, which I could have pulled a Sluttus tarot card for this position, and maybe I will next time that I do this one. Why is my card bent? Can't handle it. Isn't it interesting that there's a yin-yang here? Because this is also like this twin flamey type of thing. And I chose this deck today. So your creativity lies in sacred union, right? Between the two aspects of self. This is how you can creatively express yourself. Maybe you have something to say about this journey that you've been on. Maybe there's some way you can convey some of the lessons that you have been learning in whatever it is that's creatively inspiring you. You're also receiving the 10 of Cups in reverse, and this is from the heart space. It says harmony on it. And for it to come in reverse to me is really kind of about, 10 of Cups in reverse can be about not being quite certain about your spiritual fulfillment, like not being quite certain what embodies it. And there could be a sense here that you really want to get in tune into your heart space fully so that you can really come to understand what it is that makes you feel fulfilled creatively. And the reason I feel pretty confident about that is because the oracle that we're getting from the Work Your Light deck is Trust the Niggle. And it says, what is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? I really can't make this up. So how can you express yourself creatively? If we look at the niggling feelings and thoughts, we've got lessons learned, 6 of Swords, and the 2 of Wands, which we said was about the twin flame journey too, and then also this symbol here. So there's some aspect of maybe expression about what you've learned on this journey, and you maybe channeling your worries, fears, anxieties, and all the experiences you've had into something creative. And this could be an actual physical manifestation of some kind of an artwork, or it could be, honestly, if there's creative and sexual energy there, it could be sexual healing in terms of this twin flame journey, things like this. But the best way to express yourself is to really have a strong sense of what will be very fulfilling to you. The next position is femininity. How do I connect with my feminine side? And I'm using today the Moonology deck for the feminine oracle. In the headspace, the first card out, how can I connect with my feminine side, is the 6 of Cups. I'm sorry, the 9 of Cups, rather. Dyslexia. The 9 of Cups in reverse. So this is interesting because we got this before, and I keep seeing this card, and it keeps being in reverse. We saw this, I think, on the Obstacles Removed spread as one of the behaviors that we needed to release in order to be able to move on, which, remember, that 6 of Swords is niggling there in the head, in the back of the mind, like moving on along this journey, you know, learning the lessons and moving on. So to get the 9 of Cups in a spread means you will get your wish fulfillment, and it doesn't matter if it's an upright or in its reverse. When it is in its reverse, it often is associated with the shadow traits of the card, which include greediness and hoarding of your emotions or expression. I'm drawn, I love how they use these lamps here, like Aladdin's lamp, because the 9 of Cups is representing getting your wish. And if you're wanting to express your femininity, it's like, how can I express my femininity? it's like, don't hoard it. Don't be greedy about it. And I'm really strongly drawn to the personal experience I'm having where I am trying to see myself in other relationships, but I'm like hoarding myself, hoarding my feminine expression because of this twin flame journey. That's what's been going on. So the idea that you don't want to hide your femininity. You want to show it and you want to express it. And I think also, I feel like a lot of times with what is developed for the feminine is this just these wishes to be different than you are, or to not be fully, to be more feminine, or never feeling feminine enough. It's like you can never feel enough. There's a sense there too of releasing anything that might be in regards to that, wishing you were different, wishing you were like that your femininity was somehow different. There's something about that in there too that will help you. The next thing that's coming up for the heart space is the Strength card in reverse. And this is the ultimate powerful feminine energy, especially from this field tarot, which has this is one of my favorite strength cards ever. And the reversal on it for me is that, and especially with that Nine of Cups in reverse together, there's a sense that maybe when you go fully into your female, you're feeling like it makes you seem weak, and or it's not entirely like you feel to be more feminine or to express yourself. And we're talking about the Empress here. So jewelry, fine fabrics, like drag queen, honey, like painting your face, like being fully in the beauty of the feminine. This might make you feel a little bit like it's egotistical. You might be afraid of being seen. So working on being seen in your feminine strength, and allowing yourself to have those wishes fulfilled in regards to how you express, this will really help you. I have not seen this card in a minute, and it's profound to me that it came out today for my own personal reasons. But how can I connect with my feminine side? This is believe in the impossible. And the blue moon card. And I think like allowing ourselves to adorn ourselves, allowing ourselves to not be afraid that our feminine side is weak, and to believe that honestly that the feminine can have as much worthiness, worth energy, value as the masculine energy is something that's important. And for the feminine in our collective, it seems impossible. It does. Because even though we've made all this progress, I just had this conversation with my friend Julie last night on the phone. Even though we have made all this progress in our collective, there is still undeniably an imbalance. 100%. And I believe that as we learn to embrace gender and expressions of gender and biological gender in biology as a spectrum of expression, because my mother was an OBGYN nurse for a while, and she told me when I was growing up in high school, I'll never forget, she said, you would be surprised at the number of babies that are born with non-specific gender that is either selected or encouraged after they are born. It is not natural to have one extreme and another and nothing in the middle. Everything that we have in our material world occurs on a spectrum. And I firmly believe that as we start to embrace that there isn't this hard and fast difference in how we express feminine and masculine, despite biology, that we will start to heal this feeling that the feminine has of how impossible it is for us to fully connect with our femininity without feeling weak. Like we're the weaker sex, etc. But believe that this will happen. Believe in these changes and these shifts, and believe in the impossible. If you are someone who is seeking to express femininity in a body that is not that way, just believe in your power to connect with that divine feminine energy. It is an energy. All right, the next position is beauty. How can I open my eyes to the beauty of the world? Oh, wow. Oh my God, I got the same, holy shit. Well, in your headspace, we're getting the Queen of Pentacles. And in your heart space, we're getting the Queen of Pentacles. And the oracle for this is, when I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. I'm sorry. For this position, you couldn't get more perfect than this. How can I open my eyes to the beauty of the world? Focusing on my inner light, right? My own, myself, adorning myself, my physical form, because this is the Queen of Pentacles. This is the material version. Good morning. Thank you for joining. This is the material version of the self. And this image, we've got this birth happening. We've even have Empress energy right within this. Seeing the world through the lens of love. And the creativity and abundance, the nourishing energy that you carry within you, you can open your eyes to that beauty of the world by seeing it first within yourself. Seeing it through that Ace of Cups energy, that self-love. That's beautiful. Love. How to let more love in my life. All right. I pulled a love oracle card for this position. Okay. How to let more love in my life. Look at this. This is the Page of Cups. This is in the headspace. In reverse. That little love letter right there that you're not receiving. How can I let more love into my life? Well, I need to actually allow myself to be a little bit more innocent and heart-centered. It's about balancing emotional maturity with that childlike, youthful, true love. And the other thing, I think the warning here too is searching for true love, like the one, the story of the one, like releasing that story. So if you haven't been watching these readings the last few days, we've been focused on the Empress energy and releasing an old story. So it could be also about that too. You will be able to let more love in if you're not so attached to it coming from one single story, from like the true love story. But it is also just about being more heart-centered and allowing yourself to not be afraid, to be kind of like a lovesick fool. Like there's really nothing wrong with that. And then we're getting the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is like work energy, focusing on your work, focusing on your career. And so this could be that if you want to allow more love in to your life, you need to take the focus off of just focusing solely on your career, if that's been something that you've been doing. And you might have been doing this because you were awaiting this message from one specific individual. And so this is kind of keeping you from letting all this love into your life. So it's like releasing this energy of resistance towards that. And also the resistance there might be there about working on the self towards emotional mastery. And then finally, we're getting love call, which is literally someone expresses love, a message of love, and thinking of you and letting you know. So maybe you have been withholding these messages of love. Maybe you haven't been able to communicate with somebody that you are wanting to communicate with, and you are being called now to go ahead and express this message of love, or let someone know that they're thinking of you. Or it can be allowing, and this is, I'm feeling a little bit more strongly about this. This to me, because this says someone expresses love, a message of love, and here is this right here, and you're not allowing them to express these messages. So if there is someone that you're blocking or preventing, or if you're not going on dating apps, if you're not getting yourself out there, if you're not like taking opportunities to allow these messages of love to come to you, it's going to be difficult to let love in. So you have to open up to receiving messages that will bring you more love in your life. Nature. How can I connect with and honor Mother Earth? Oh my God in heaven. It's just nutty. This reading is nutty. Okay, the headspace is the 8 of Swords in reverse. So, and I love that this is a spider web with all these flies caught in this trap. And that in one of the reasons from childhood that I have been reluctant to connect with nature is because I fucking hate bugs, okay? And it's taken me a long time to be like, okay, I'm almost chill with bugs. So if that is something that resonates with some of you, you kind of like, you want to connect with nature, but you have this feeling of being a little bit afraid of it, like uncertain of it, kind of like needing to protect yourself from it. For instance, I love not camping. So there could be in the headspace sort of this desire to release your protection or your isolation in regards to nature. Now this resonates with me because I'm always in my apartment. Although today I get to go out, so I'm excited. But technically I'm going to eat somewhere and then go to the last bookstore. But still, I'll be like out of my apartment and they'll see trees and shit while we drive there for a second. But regardless, needing to come out of this self-imposed isolation in terms of nature, for some of us that might be going on. And the 9 of Cups for wish fulfillment. We got the 9 of Cups again, 2 times in this reading. So whatever you're wishing for, look out. But this is beautiful too. This is, how do I connect with nature and Mother Earth? It's like, allow yourself to really experience the abundance that is ever present when you are in nature. And I just saw a huge flock of birds fly by my window just now. If you want to call in abundance, there's no better way to do it than to observe how abundant nature truly is. If you want to call in faith and trust, there's no better way to do it than to observe how nature just works. If there was nothing, if there was no directive, if there was no, whatever, ethereal essence that animates all things and connects everything, I feel like nature wouldn't work so well. So there's this feeling of just like, if you've been wishing to go out into nature, and then just allow yourself to experience this. Like, don't withhold anything from yourself, any experiences from yourself. And then I chose the Colette Baron Reid the Spirit Animal Oracle for this position. And we're getting Dream the World into Being, which is Lizard Spirit. So this is another thing too. connecting with nature, start to dream about the places in nature that you would like to go. Or if you're timid or afraid about it, like I said, with like the fear of, being out in the wild, just starting to imagine it and starting to observe and expand in that will be really helpful to you. When was the last time you basked in the sun and allowed yourself to daydream and to imagine what might be and what might become? Lizard spirit appears when you are called to let your imagination flow and dream something new. Inspiration is available to you now if you're willing to slow down and let your eyes close a little, allowing ideas to dance in your head. What might come into being if you were to pursue your dream? How might you grow and expand if you allowed yourself to dare to believe in the impossible? Which this is right under the believe in the impossible card, by the way. Making it possible first in your dreaming mind and then in the world as you co-create with spirit. Give in to the power of imagination and soon your dream will become clearer. The steps will reveal themselves and what was ephemeral will begin to coalesce into form. Dream it and be it. Spirit asks you to dare to dream big. I feel like there's just something that's been holding you back from fully experiencing nature. And you need to if for me, I can, what's coming up for me is that like I can't experience nature in this apartment unless I bought plants, which I haven't done yet because I killed them all. And maybe I wouldn't now that I'm more connected, but I don't know. That's my fear, right? That Eight of Swords reverse, I'll get a plant and then I'm like, what, you're just gonna end up killing it, and then out in my street, the only nature are these sad looking trees that are absorbing all of the pollution. And so I feel it's hard for me to imagine how I could connect with nature. So you're being called to if you feel limited in this experience, you're being called to imagine how you can do this, dream bigger. Imagine a space that allows you to connect with nature in a way that you want. For instance, I would like a screened in porch so that I can be outside with no bugs around me. That's what I want, okay? Find a way to connect with nature that works for you and helps ease those fears or anxieties you may have about it. It could also be about doing magic that involves nature. There might be fears or concerns about how to go about doing that and wanting to release fears about doing nature magic of some kind. Okay. How can I be at peace with myself and the world? In the headspace, we're getting the Six of Wands. I love these cards. They're very interesting. Look at all these basketballs going right through the hoop there. Victory. This is a card of victory. It's a card of having fought a battle and finally being able to enjoy the spoils of war. And just appreciate your rewards. And there's nothing better than victory. I just watched The Handmaid's Tale last night, and there was this moment at the end of the episode that I would say would be somewhat of a victory for June, and that was really fulfilling feeling. So victory itself is very fulfilling, and just kind of basking in that. Heart space is interesting. King of Swords, authority. So conquering your emotions will bring you peace right now. Really being able to manage them is going to be very helpful for you. And not in a shadow way, but in the way that the King of Swords has to conquer his emotions, because in order for him to use his intellect and do the thing, he has to be able to tap into the emotions, get the messages from them, and then put them to the side so that he can take action. That's definitely why the King of Swords appears icy and aloof at times. It's not that he doesn't feel his feelings, although if he's in a shadow, it might be. But a King of Swords in his light traits, he doesn't have issues feeling his emotions. His emotions just don't rule him. They don't conquer him. His intellect has authority over them. And that is a slippery slope, because sometimes we feel like that means that we just can't feel our emotions. But no, we still need to be able to feel them. We just it's just kind of like this. We like feel like, and then you're like, okay, I hear you. Right? I hear you. I'm going to do my best to help you deal with that feeling. Right? It's not denying the feeling. It's hearing it and accepting it, but it's not getting hooked into it and feeding into it and letting it rule you. It's having authority over the feeling. This will bring you peace. And then I'm using the Saints and Angels deck by Doreen Virtue for our card to represent how I can be at peace with myself and the world. Pause, reflect, appreciate, take a breath, breathe it all in, get in deep into the beauty that we just looked at. Go deep into this energy. That is beautiful. All right, let's take a look now at the bottom of the deck for the last messages for Divine Feminine. Wow, Divine Feminine, you are still getting this card. It's just from a different deck today. Retreat, deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. So stay on your mental or actual vacation. The Empress week is 7 days, okay? We're like halfway through, I think. So stay in this retreat energy. I found myself this morning. I was like, just one reading? Just one masculine reading? And then I was like, bitch, you really can't just not do that for 7 days? You really can't? I was like, all right, fine, I won't do it. Continue to retreat. That's why I'm saying don't you express messages today. This is about being open to receiving messages, but not going towards a specific iteration and messaging no more. Don't do that. Stay in this retreat energy. Trust and believe that it is the right energy for you at this time. You and your loved ones are safe right now in this Cancer energy. So this might be about your home right now, feelings about home or families, anything like that that you've been concerned about. You're just getting a very strong message that you and your loved ones are safe. Also, if you feel yourself going into a panic because you're letting go of a specific iteration and you're like, oh no, if I distance myself, it'll be over forever, which is what you're trying to do. Kind of, but you don't really want to, and all of that confusion and all of that, like, I don't know if it's like wounding Divine Masculine. You and your loved ones are safe for you to be on this retreat right now. You need this, and you are able to do this, and everyone's going to be fine. Everyone's going to be fine. Divine Masculine is going to be fine. All the people around you are going to be fine. If you're not doing twin flame readings for your collective right now because you're trying to take a break, all your Aquarians are going to be fine. You're safe and protected. So don't allow fears or anxieties or worries about other people's feelings or what's happening to pull you out of your own need for this pause, this deep replenishment. You need it. You're getting not today, not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, call, or person, boundaries, still angry. Not today. Stay in that retreat energy. There is someone who is avoiding you, avoiding a conversation with you or a call. They are, you have put up boundaries. And they don't know how to get across these boundaries because they have been in the past not being mindful of the consequences of crossing these boundaries. And so there is still a need just to stay in this retreat right now and allow that other person who's avoiding this conversation or call to work through their feelings. They might still be feeling angry. They might still be feeling hurt. They're definitely not dealing with these feelings. But it is not up to you to initiate this love call. It is up to you to receive it. See? Not making the call, but receiving it. So try not to, okay, here's the thing, Divine Feminine. I'm really getting a download about this. The reason that Spirit needed us to focus on the Divine Feminine for 7 days is because we have been too much in the Divine Masculine energy in ourselves. Chasing. We've been taking action without centering. We've been taking fear-based actions. Our Divine Masculine is scared and worried that the Divine Feminine is going to be lost. And I'm talking about the one inside of ourselves, not the specific iteration. That Divine Masculine fears that the specific iteration is going to go away. So that Divine Masculine energy inside of ourselves is violating boundaries, is trying to hold on to the feminine energy because it doesn't trust that love is there. It doesn't trust that the love is going to remain. It thinks that this person is going to take the love with them and it's never going to feel it again, right? So we're too much in the masculine energy. We need to be balanced. We need to receive the call. We need to wait for the call. We need to be in the Empress is waiting. She's not waiting for a specific person, but she's open to receive from the right person, right? From the person who can match her energetically at that moment that they arrive. So we need to be in the feminine, not making the calls, not sending the messages today, but receiving them. Dove Spirit is here. Be peace. And also, this was supposed to come out first, so let's look at this one first. Optimism. This is really helpful to you. You have to remain optimistic that the work that you're doing is honestly for your best interest. And if you're so focused on this person, oh, I love this person and I just keep thinking about this person. Okay, well, then fix yourself, because if you want to be good for that person, then you need to be an Empress for 7 days without thinking about an Emperor as much as possible. And look, it's impossible to a certain extent. This whole thing right here, the believe in the impossible and the strength card in reverse, I mean, I feel that. Like, it feels almost impossible for me to stop fixating on this one individual. Almost impossible. Like, it might be. But I have to remain optimistic that I am doing what I am supposed to be doing while I am doing this work. We are getting the protection message of Dove Spirit, which is, however disturbed the waters around you, however troubled your heart, Dove Spirit is there to remind you that peace without begins within as you reconnect with Spirit through practices that awaken you from spiritual amnesia. Your true nature is as a peaceful child of Spirit, but how easily you forget. You're being invited to sit in the cozy, safe nest of Spirit. Soon the waters will become still and you will feel peace again. Be compassionate with yourself at this time, for all of us can forget that peace is always at hand, always there, gifted to us by Spirit. Become the peace you wish to see in the world so you can reduce any suffering, performing acts of kindness and radiating love. Dove Spirit also reminds you that when you see inequity or someone harmed or in need, trust that you have the capacity to bring peace through smiling, sending love, speaking a kind word, and listening with a compassionate heart. Do your part to be a peacemaker, nourishing compassion, reminding others of the joy of harmonious coexistence, so that you may embrace the Dove Spirit within themselves, so that they may embrace the Dove Spirit within themselves too. So my message from this is, Divine Feminine, you seek peace. And when you find peace, the masculine finds peace inside of self. And when that happens, you can see that reflected back to you. Right now, there is chaos, there is discontent, there is separation, there is grief and loss, there is longing, there is aching. And the cure to that is that heart space telling you to have command to conquer those emotions, to feel them, and to allow them to be what they are, which is just a gauge telling you how empty or full your tank is, how close you are to alignment or how far away you are. That is all your emotions are. They cannot hurt you. They cannot kill you. They can't. They can encourage you if your thoughts are out of control in regards to them and you don't feel comfortable with them. They can cause you to think into your fears. But as you become comfortable with the awareness that that the feelings are not something to be feared, they are just a language that your whole being speaks. And find that peace. All right, let's get our goddess card, which I meant to open with, and then forgot. So let's, I guess, close with a goddess today. And I used to encourage everyone to do this goddess practice, which I'll bring back today because I just thought about it. But I used to always close with a goddess card, and I would say that for, 15 minutes at some point today when you can, put your hands over your heart and visualize this goddess energy or any divine feminine energy you like. It can be whatever modality that feels comfortable for you, or if there's a particular goddess that you have a devotion to, etc. Or it can just be yourself in your full Empress energy, like picturing your highest version of yourself. But whatever energy, put your hands over your heart and just repeat as you visualize as a mantra, my heart is the heart of the goddess, and this balances the goddess, the divine feminine energy inside of self. And look who's visiting us today, Venus, the Roman goddess of grace and love, called Aphrodite by the Greeks. She evolved from an early Italian nature goddess, a bringer of spring blooms and vines, a goddess of growth and beauty of nature. The goddess of desire, Venus was the irresistible personification of both physical and spiritual love. She gave her name to the second planet of dawn and dusk, as did her sister goddesses Inanna, Sumeria, and Ishtar, Babylonia. The story of Venus's birth tells how she arose naked from the sea, the source of all life, primordial creation, and a symbol of both the collective unconscious and eternity. It is a wonderful image for the emergence of a young woman into her full femininity. Venus is a striking affirmation of the love of beauty and the pleasure of the senses. Risen from the sea, she is a guide through both the stormy and calm waters of our physical desires and emotions. So she is the guide. I just said our emotions are the guide that help us, that lead us to where we need to go. And this says she is a guide through both the stormy and calm waters of our physical desires and emotions. So if you need help with gaining authority over your emotions, so that they keep you from spiraling, you can call on Venus to assist you. That is literally her job. And then let's just get some advice from my playing cards today and see exactly what we can do this very day that will help us come into union inside of ourselves. Please like and subscribe and click all the links. There's a link in my bio that has, it's everything is there. YouTube and Patreon and all the good stuff. And please go and support me. That helps me so much. All right, what else can we do? Oh my God. Wow, okay. Interesting. For today, we're getting the Four of Wands, the Joker in reverse, which is the Fool card for me in this deck, and the Six of Swords, which we already got today. Well, that's not reverse, but the Six of Swords. So, it's interesting because Four of Wands has twin flame energy. I'm just trying to think. I don't want to give the wrong message here. It's hard because I'm trying to balance with what my ego wants this to be and what it is. The sacred union that I just said, what can we do today to come into sacred union? This is a card about celebration. It's a card about marriage. It's a card about having been in the Three of Wands energy and seeing the pieces falling into place, and then finally being able to celebrate them. The Fool in reverse is about being cautious. And the Six of Swords is about transitioning, moving on. So, what I'm seeing is you need to be really cautious today about this twin flame energy that's on your mind, okay? You need to make sure that you are learning your lessons and that you are releasing any tendencies that you might have to be a fool about the situation, to be blind to the truth. Do not be blind to the truth, right? Do not backpedal. You're really doing a lot of good work in releasing this story and this one person that represents this story for you. It's difficult. It's not easy. But be very cautious about how you are thinking about this story today. I see it there. I'm not going to clock you for it, I guess. I'm going to allow it. But make sure you're really, really, really understanding that it is about lessons, not about a specific individual. Do not be blind to this lesson. If you can maintain this delicate balance today of honoring the twin flame journey on the one hand and releasing any sort of I want to say conviction that it is one specific person. Releasing any sort of conviction that it is one person. Understanding that we could be blind to, there are things that we can't see yet. So don't allow yourself to backpedal into that fixation on the one person. Maybe start to tell the story that this journey that you're on is showing you where you need to go. And every person that comes with you along that journey is a soul connection and is important. And there doesn't need to be a one special... There doesn't need to be one special story. Like, you don't need to have that. Like, let yourself not need that. Just let yourself be open, that's all. Because the bottom of the deck is the same as it was yesterday. Queen of Wands. Hold your vision of yourself. Hold your vision of your passion, the things that animate you. And let that be what motivates you, what sparks you. And continue, this is the Nine of Wands, to remain in isolation at this time, healing these wounds, and filling that cup, which we started the reading with, the Ace of Cups. Wow, I could just keep pulling these. Holy moly, I'm not going to do it though. Oh my goodness. Okay, I won't do that. Anyway, I hope that helped you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I shall be back here again tomorrow morning, most likely on Instagram because I still can't get my stupid computer camera to work. It's so annoying. But I hope that you have a lovely Friday. I'm going to go get brunch at Blue Jam Cafe, which has killer French toast. Cannot wait for it. And then the last bookstore, which I'll probably spend many hours at. So I'm going to be leaving soon. Cheryl, who got me the Sluttist Tarot deck and the Tattoo Tarot deck, is taking me again. So I'm very excited to get to see Cheryl again and be able to spend time with a friend and get out and about and look real cute, you know. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I shall see you here tomorrow. And remember, on Sunday with Grace Strega, the reading time will potentially be a bit later in the day. So pay attention to my stories and Grace Strega's stories and posts to find out the exact time of Sunday's reading with her. Thank you so much. Have the best day, everybody. Take care.